Hello everyone, it's Daz, and this week's discussion is on food insecurity and convenience. I apologize for last week not doing a stream or a video. I was recovering from being sick, and for those of you who've been following the last few videos and streams, it's been a month of fighting off a lingering cold and cough, and I'm not sure what it is and why it's lingered so long, but I've been resting my voice since where I work, I use it a lot. But I'm very passionate about health, and as someone who works at a food bank, over the last 2 months I've been there, I've learned a lot, and then with my background in sociology and biology, it's always of interest to talk about it. And I want to start off by saying, and this might sound silly to some, but if you watched the video that I did on body positivity, where I shared my story about struggling with weight gain and weight loss, and just my perception overall of food is not the enemy. However, sometimes the choices that we make with food can be detrimental to us. And when it comes to food deserts, a food desert, for those who may not be familiar with the term, is a situation in a lot of lower income areas, whether it's urban or rural, where people are living further away from grocery stores or whole food stores, or there's not farmers markets that they have access to buy fresh produce or healthier foods that aren't as processed. And another issue that goes with food deserts is food swamps, which is a situation where you have more fast food restaurants or gas stations or diners or whatever the case is that serve unhealthy, processed, or greasier foods that people may choose to consume rather than something healthier. And people who are often in this situation may not have transportation to go out to areas where there's healthier food, or maybe they find, just going to the McDonald's or whatever fast food restaurant there is closer, and they develop a taste for it, or going to the vending machine and purchasing something. And with that all being said, a survey compiled by the National Center for Health Statistics shows that between 2013 and 2016, more than 36% of adults, or more than 1 in 3, consumed fast food on a given day. Now, I'm gonna take out the food desert idea for a minute and say that even people who find themselves in a pretty decent position may work 9 to 5 jobs, and so after they get off, they may find that they don't have as much time as they want to cook. When you break down an average day, there's 24 hours, and 8 of those, if you're fortunate, are spent sleeping. That leaves you with now 16 hours, but take another 8 out for working if you work full time, and you get all your hours in. Now you're left with only 8 hours to cook, to prepare for bed, to wake up and prepare, to commute, and do other things. Oftentimes, when you break down commuting and you take out cooking and everything else, there's not a lot of time for downtime. And I used to find when I was in high school and early college and I didn't have to work and I didn't have as much responsibility, I could go to the gym for an hour to 30 minutes a day. And even though I was eating not the healthiest back then, I managed to keep myself in a pretty good condition and shape. And so sometimes time management and making healthier choices, you don't always see the results or the fruits of it till later. Now, when I couldn't go to the gym as much and just getting older, getting into my 20s, I found that just a few problem areas that may have felt like maybe it was 10, 15 pounds away, because I could never imagine back then wearing anything larger for women. They would understand as men wouldn't, than a 4. Now I found myself in double digits, and surprised then, because it was like, how did this happen? But some of it is a result of not eating healthier and then not getting as much exercise. So now a 10 to 15 pound issue became a 30 to 50 pound issue, which I know sounds really drastic, but it's all because of some of the food options and then lack of exercise. Then you have to take into account that many people do sedentary work, especially the more pay you get. So if you're working outside, construction, or other jobs that require more labor, you may be working off any of that unhealthy food that you're eating. Whereas if you're sitting behind a desk all day, typing up reports or making calls at a call center, you're not getting as much exercise. And then sometimes the food that we consume that's unhealthy, it has certain additives in them that, or sweeteners that are also toxic to us, but also they activate a certain taste bud in our mouth that makes us addicted to it. And many of you know this from documentaries and other videos on sort of the food conspiracies that there are, but this is a real problem. And what's nice about this, but sad at the same time, is that 45% of adults ages 20 to 39 ate fast food, while only 24% of adults over 60 had fast food as a meal or snack. So the older we get, the less we choose to eat out. I would say some factors that contribute to that are retirement and people maybe not working as many hours so they have more time to cook. I personally love cooking. I love eating my own food. I love it when my mother cooks and I eat her food. I like it much better than eating out. Even though eating out can be nice when you don't feel like cooking and doing anything, you have more time to do that. Same thing with health issues. When you get older, people's teeth may not be able to handle certain foods, or they may find that they need to watch their blood pressure or their intake of certain things. So it's so important as we get older to make healthier choices, because when we're young, we can bounce right back. I can remember the days of being able to eat lots and lots of junk, and I never saw it on the scale. I never saw it in the mirror. I never felt like it affected me. And now I'm noticing being sick, for one thing, has really done a number on me, because I've been sick for over a month, and I've been doing a lot of healthier eating, from more soup, more greens, more vegetables, fruit, salads, less juice, less soda, more water, more tea. And I just have gotten in the habit, and I want to stay in the habit. So I'm like, while I'm recovering, let me stay doing this rather than falling back into the old habits. And with food swamps, a food swamp is defined also because about 4 unhealthy options for every healthy one there is. But I will say it does take more time, and eating healthier is more expensive, unfortunately. And when it comes to time management, finding time to work out is its own issue as well. Some people just don't have the time. If you want to spend adequate time with your children, if you're a parent, some people are single parents, so they don't have that extra help around the house. Unfortunately, with the cost of living, it's nice to have like one parent that goes to work and the other that stays at home. But often people, in order to maintain their living conditions, both parents have to go to work, and it can just be very hard. But just really trying to find ways to maybe cut out watching TV for working out, or maybe work out while you watch TV. That's one thing I did like about the gym. And I know some of you guys don't watch TV, which kudos to you, but I liked it because you could go on the treadmill or do cardio while watching a TV, or you could listen to music while doing that. And it was a really nice thing. And I'd like to go back into working out, or at least walking, which is something I'm looking more into, is taking a walk every 30 minutes to an hour each day. And that in itself can just help you out overall. And I don't think we should feel guilty and beat ourselves up over making a mistake with eating food. I'm not saying to make it a habit, but I think the more we're like, oh darn it, now I can't ever bounce back from this, is a bad way to look at things. And I also think another issue some people have, like myself, as I mentioned in the body positivity video, looking at health from what it is, just wanting to be happier and healthier, not about vanity and looking good, because it does good to look good on the outside, but inside not be well at all. And I think there's so much more to health than just how you physically appear. There's people that look physically healthy, but internally they're not at all. Or even with food insecurity, as I mentioned at the beginning, you can't always tell people that are food insecure. Often we think of developing nations, but plenty of people in the United States are. And being food insecure could mean you're deprived of nutrients. So someone could be very overweight and still be food insecure. And with that being said, when we take out the vanity of being healthy, because, we live in the age of selfies and having good pics and everything, people often strive to go to the gym and to eat healthier just so they can look a certain way, which never works. Fad diets, it has to be a lifestyle. But if you do it for you and not for vanity, it makes it so much easier, because I can remember the days of just working out for fun, enjoying working out and such. And I think you should enjoy the journey of whatever you do. And even finding time while you're working on extra projects, because like I mentioned earlier, after I come home from work, it's true I have some downtime, but I'm a writer and I want to continue to write more novels, and I also want to continue to put out videos and do streams. So maybe finding time between those things, or like I said, multitasking. I always ask and pray for the Holy Spirit to guide me on how to divide my time, which I know for some might sound silly, but it really does help. And just even if you can, because some people it works better, if you want to spend time with certain people, maybe getting them to work out with you for an hour, maybe going to the gym for an hour to 30 minutes together, or for a walk together. That way you don't lose the time that you would spend otherwise. Or if you're a parent, maybe going for a walk with your children. These are just suggestions, but I just wanted to share this with you all, and I'd like to know what your thoughts are on convenience, time management, healthy eating, food insecurity, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you have a wonderful week. I'll talk to you in next Monday's live stream. Take care and God bless.